From the Revamp Granger to Fanny's infinite energy, the original server update is here and it has brought a lot with it. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are going to take a look at the new original patch note that just dropped. Let's start this video off with the new Revamp Granger. Granger's Demon Hunter gun uses demonic energy for endless attacks. In the gold lane, he can fire without cooldowns on skill 1 and ultimate, adding incredible lane pressure. His look and effects got an upgrade, including a violent recoil animation. In Megatron skin, he transforms into a tank during his ultimate. His passive Capriccio, killing minions and creeps, increases Granger's energy cap, keeping him fueled up for continuous fire. Any cooldown reduction translates into attack power. Skill 1 Rhapsody, the 6 short ability, has no cooldown and grants movement speed. A dash that restores energy and reduces its own cooldown each time Rhapsody hits increases his mobility. Ultimate Death Sonata now fires endlessly if he has energy, with each shot showing a quick roll for repositioning. Now let's check out all the hero adjustments made. Alright, let's dive into Clint's adjustment in this patch and see what's changed. First up, Clint's attributes are slightly toned down to keep his balance in check. His HP growth dropped from 170 to 145 and his physical attack growth went from 14 to 12. This makes him a bit less tanky and tones down his damage scaling a bit as the game progresses. Now for skill 1, casting his ability should feel way smoother. The force swing time was cut by 50% and backswing by 20%. Plus now the second bullet scales its damage from 30% up to 50% as Clint levels up, giving him a more balanced damage curve. With skill 2, we are seeing a trade-off. The range got shortened a bit from 4.4 to 3.8. But the dash distance increased from 2.3 to 3, and they threw in a 20% dash speed boost. Lastly, Clint's ultimate got a backswing time reduction of 33%, making it quicker to follow up with a basic attack. Its range is now a bit shorter from 8 to 7, which lines it up nicely with his empowered basic attack range. Let's talk about Cyclops' buffs in this patch, mainly targeting his ultimate and skill range for better usability and control. For skill 2, got a little upgrade in range, going from 5.2 to 5.7, letting Cyclops attack from a safer distance. However, they slightly toned down the damage, going from 200 to 350 to 200 to 325, plus 40% of his total magic power. Now the big changes are with his ultimate. They sped up the spear's initial speed, going from 1 to 6, so it hits target much quicker, and reduced the cooldown from a constant 43 seconds down from 26 to 18 seconds, meaning you will get to use it way more often. They also tweaked the damage to 500 plus 120% total magic power, a bit down from 550 to 880 plus 220%. And cut the mana cost significantly from 160 to 200 to 60 to 100. So you won't be running out of mana as easily. Up next is Joy. She is getting a boost to her burst damage to make her feel more like a true assassin. Her skill 2 now has a shorter interval, dropping from 1 second to 0.8 seconds. So she can deal damage faster and be a more formidable presence in fights. As for Fanny, they have made some changes to help with her high skill playstyle and sustain. Her energy regen is up from 3 to 5 and her passive now restores 8 energy per frame arc instead of 7. This should keep her going longer in fights. They have also smoothed out her ultimate by fixing a bug that would trigger skill 1 unexpectedly during flight. On top of that, her extra physical attack bonus is down from 240% to 200%, slightly reducing her burst. But the damage increase per stake has gone up from 20% to 30%, which rewards players who can build up stakes in battle for even more powerful hits. Moving to Xavier, he is getting a nice buff to his defensive option in close range fights. The force swing time on skill 2 has been reduced by 50%. making it faster and allowing him to chain it with the skill 1 for a quick immobilization combo. His skill 2 also got a damage boost, adding a bit more punch to his close range moves. Chip is seeing a bit of a nerf for balance. His base HP dropped from 2581 to 2481, and his physical defense growth went down from 7.2 to 5.5. Plus, they have removed the brief airborne effect from his abilities, slightly lowering his crowd control. Khalid also took a bit of a hit, especially when it comes to his defense builds. His physical attack growth decreased from 11.25 to 9.5, so he will scale in damage a bit slower. And his skill 2's damage reduction got adjusted from 35% to 50%, down from 25% to 40%, meaning he is a little easier to deal with in fights. Kadita has been buffed and they have improved her overall casting smoothness, speeding up both her dashing speed and wave speed on skill 1 from 8 to 10, which should make it easier for her to dive in or escape. Skill 2 took a slight hit though, with its airborne duration down from 1.5 to 1 second. Her ultimate has a 15% reduction in first swing time, letting her use it a bit faster in battle. Gatotkacha got some adjustments to balance out his damage, especially in tank builds with Thunderbolt. His passive now deals slightly less enhanced basic attack damage per range, dropping from 10 to 8. And the airborne duration on his ultimate is down a bit, from 1.2 to 1 second, which reduces his control just slightly. For well, his skill 2 now has a shorter airborne duration, going from 1 second down to 0.6 seconds. However, his damage scaling has been boosted, with his skill now hitting for 350 to 700 plus 100% of total magic power, up from 400 to 600 plus 60% of total magic power. He is also getting a cooldown reduction for his skill 2. It now scales from 10 seconds down to 8 seconds as you level up, allowing him to use it more frequently. Plus, his ultimate is a bit more effective now with a reduced explosion delay, 1.6 seconds down to 1 second, and much stronger pulling power, making skill chaining smoother and more reliable. Guinevere's animation have been optimized to make up for her shorter airborne duration on skill 2, now 0.8 seconds instead of 1 second. Skill 1 has a 20% reduction in first swing and 50% less back swing, letting her chain skills more fluidly. Skill 2's range is slightly extended from 5 to 5.3 and its back swing time is reduced by 50%, giving her a quicker, easier combo with her ultimate for an efficient follow-up. Tigreal is getting a small nerf on skill 2, with the airborne duration reduced from 1 second to 0.6 seconds. Vixara also sees a nerf to her ultimate, with its airborne duration cut from 0.8 seconds to 0.6 seconds. Grook's ultimate airborne duration has been slightly cut from 1 second to 0.8 seconds. Leslie is also seeing a small reduction in her skill 2's airborne duration, going from 0.5 seconds to 0.4 seconds. This limits her ability to keep enemies under control for long. Martez's skill 2 now has a reduced airborne duration from 0.5 seconds to 0.4 seconds, which means his crowd control won't last quite as long. Kufra's skill 1 sees a slight adjustment in airborne duration, now sets at 0.4 to 1 second instead of 0.5 to 1.1 seconds. This change makes his crowd control a bit less intense, especially at the lower range. Users, his skill 3's airborne effect is now shorter, going from 1 second down to 0.8 seconds. This reduces his hold over enemies in team fights, giving them a little more breathing room. Edith and her skill 1's airborne duration has been reduced from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, which should make her control a bit less punishing for enemies. Lapu Lapu is getting a nice buff to his skill 1 cooldown. It's now reduced from 8 to 6 seconds to 6 to 4.5 seconds. This will let him be more active in fights, giving him more consistent access to his skills. Hilda's skill 2's cooldown has also been reduced from 8 to 6 seconds to 6 to 4.5 seconds, boosting her resilience in skirmishes and allowing her to rely on abilities more often. For Fredrin, the developers are shining the spotlight on him as a tank jungler. His ultimate cooldown has been reduced from 9 to 6 seconds to 8 to 6 seconds, and his hybrid defense increase is now up from 15 to 35 to 25 to 45, making him a stronger presence in battles. Ruby, known for her high HP regen and durability. Ruby's hybrid defense increase has been nerfed a bit. It's now down to 7.5 plus 1.5 multiply hero level from 9 plus 1.8 multiply hero level, making her a tad less tanky. Karina getting a buff to her early game power. Her passive based true damage has been doubled from 50 to 100, making her more threatening early on. Brody is getting a small buff to his late game scaling with his physical attack growth increased from 10 to 12, boosting his damage potential as the game progresses. Link with a strong late game presence. Link's physical attack growth is dropping from 8.25 to 6 to keep his scaling in check. However, his ultimate, Tempest of Blades, gets a buff with a slightly increased radius, giving him a broader reach during fights. Aurora is seeing a couple of small nerfs to her powerful mix of crowd control and burst damage. Her skill 2 cooldown has gone from 13 to 10 seconds to 14 to 11 seconds. And her base movement speed is down slightly from 255 to 250, making her a bit easier to catch. To improve Farsa's mana efficiency, Farsa's skill 2 mana cost has been cut down from 80 to 120 to 50 to 80, letting her use her abilities more freely in the early and mid game. Her ultimate cooldown has also been reduced to a flat 23 seconds, allowing her to drop her high damage burst more often in fights. Fovea's strong laning ability has led to a cooldown increase on skill 1, now sitting at 6 to 4 seconds instead of a flat 4 seconds. This gives his opponents a bit more breathing room in the lane. To make God a stronger pick as a mid laner, skill 1's Mystic projectile speed has been increased from 10 to 12.5, making it easier for him to land hits. Plus his mana cost for abilities has been reduced, letting him stay active in the lane for longer without worrying as much about mana. Moving on to the battlefield adjustments. The Regen Battle spell is getting a significant buff aimed at improving early game sustainability for weaker heroes, especially in the laning phase. Starting with HP regen, it's been boosted from 18% of maximum HP to 720 plus 6% of maximum HP. This provides more reliable healing in the early game, helping heroes stay in the lane longer without needing to retreat. Additionally, mana regen has been doubled from 9% of maximum mana to 18%, ensuring that mana-dependent heroes can continue fighting without being forced to hold back due to mana constraints. Malefic gun got reworked. It is designed to give marksmen more versatile equipment options. We have covered the detail in this video, so make sure to check it out to know more. The new Malefic gun now provides plus 40 physical attack and plus 20% attack speed, making it a solid offensive option. It also has two unique passives that boost its utility. Its unique passive Armor Buster grants plus 30% physical penetration, giving marksmen a strong alternative to Malefic Roar. Malefic Energy increases the basic attack range by 15% and grants a 10% movement speed boost for 1 second whenever you hit the target. This helps with both chasing down enemies and repositioning in fights. These adjustments make the Malefic gun a versatile option, especially for marksmen looking for both range and mobility without sacrificing damage. Let's see how this rework impacts item choices and strategies for marksman players. Malefic Roar has received a buff to its physical penetration potential. The unique attribute has been replaced with the unique passive Armor Buster, now granting a flat 30% physical penetration. This makes Malefic Roar even more effective against tanky opponents. However, the Breaker passive has been nerfed, with each point of enemy physical defense now granting 0.1% physical penetration instead of 0.125%, capped at 30% instead of 40%. This balances its scaling power, especially in late game scenarios. Wind Toker also sees a significant buff. Especially for crit-based builds, the crit chance on Wind Toker has been increased from 10 to 20%, making it more valuable for heroes relying on attack speed and crit. However, the plus 20 physical attack attribute has been removed, and the item's price has been increased from 1820 to 1880. These changes focus on Wind Toker's synergy with crit builds, giving it more specialized appeal. We are also seeing HP adjustments across all hero roles to bring them closer to the early game growth curve that marksmen received in previous patches. Here's a quick breakdown by role. Tank heroes. Base HP is reduced by 109, but HP growth per level is increased by 15. Fighter heroes. Base HP is reduced by 178 with an HP growth increase of 15. Assassin heroes. Base HP drops by 159 while HP growth goes up by 15. Mage or support heroes. Base HP is reduced by 121 with an HP growth increase of 12.5. There are also few special cases. Xbox sees a smaller base HP reduction of 81 with HP growth increased by 7.5. Masha has her base HP reduced by 43 with an HP growth boost of 5. Notably, Roger and Estes remained unchanged. Eudora, Natalia, Aldous, Claude, and Van Van have all received a visual update. These heroes now sport enhanced looks, with updated models and effects that make them shine on the battlefield. On the gameplay side, turrets have been adjusted to improve lane defenses. Now there are no enemy minions in range. The turret's damage reduction is significantly increased. Turret diving without minions is no-no. So guys, what do you think? Are you excited about all the changes? Will you be using the newly revamped Granger? Comment down all your thoughts below. So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.